definitely just hit 10 minutes without realizing it. I apologize. Anyway, picking up from where we left off, I'm trying to do this where people who've never done it before, like myself, can experience it. I haven't moved anything since I shut the camera off, just restarted the recording. Okay, so this is the NAS. It's got some protective tape on it, of course, which you would hope for something this expensive. As of April 2011, this unit costs $500, the DS410. I waited, hoping that a DS411 would come out, which would probably be about the same amount, maybe a touch more, but updated. Hasn't come out as of April. Today's, I guess, the 13th, but, you know, this has such good reviews. Honestly, I'd probably have to wait a little while to get the DS410 some time anyway to make sure it was reviewed well. So this was $500. These particular drives, I'll go into exactly what they are later once I get one open, but they're 3 terabyte, 5400 RPM Hitachi DeskStar drives. They were normally $150. I got them on sale at Newegg for $130 a piece. $20 off coupon code that I found online. So across this four, basically that was $520 for those at $130 a piece after the code, and $500 for this. So just over $1,000 for all of this. Definitely an investment. Definitely an investment. However, say you've got, you know, 50 Blu-rays sitting around. Well, rip your Blu-rays to one of these, sell the Blu-rays, and make a decent amount of money back. Say you only get $10 a Blu-ray disc, which you could probably get on eBay or Craigslist. You've just made your $500 back. You just made $500, and that's half of this. I don't have quite 500 Blu-rays to get rid of, but I've got probably about 25. So I'm hoping to make a little more than $10 a piece, since some of them are TV shows like Weeds or Dexter. So that's kind of my hope. Anyway, remove this protective tape here. Okay, do not do that. I doubt it hurt it, of course, but I wouldn't recommend knocking it over on its side. It doesn't actually weigh that much, of course, without the drives in it. I'm not very good at weights, but I would say it probably weighs about 3-4 pounds, something like that. Maybe a little more, maybe 5-6 pounds. But it's a little bit too big to hold in one hand unless you have large hands. You can see on the front, little logo DS410, Decision 410, status and LAN. I'm assuming those are lights. Usual power button, and HDD hard disk drive 1 through 4. For yeah, none of those are buttons. They're just I'm assuming activity lights or something. And the brand is, if you can see that, Synology, which, from what I've read, is one of the best brands of network attached storage. They make a lot of consumer grade and professional grade stuff. On the back, you can see it's got dual fans. Looking at that, those are about, I'd say, 2.5 to 3 inch fans. So, I mean, they're plenty big for cooling for hard drives, and that's part of the reason I went with 5400 is cooling anyway. These are just 4 thumb screws, I'm assuming, to get access to the thing to put your hard drives in. This particular model, there's your power in, your Ethernet port, 2 USB drives. I believe they're USB 2.0 from what I remember from the stats, though don't quote me on that. And then an eSATA port, which is great and all, though I don't have anything that uses eSATA. Well, no, I take that back. My M11X does use eSATA. I just have never used it myself. So that is the equipment. I have no idea what to do now. Like I said, I've never used a NAS. I'm going to delve into these materials real quick. I am not really new to computers by any means, so I'm sure that this won't take long to pick up on, and hopefully the video won't become boring because of it. Synology, blah 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 blah, general product license, different size screws for different size drives, some sort of mounting clip. I have no idea what this is for. Probably to hold something in place at some point. I will definitely keep that. A disc, which I'm probably not going to use for now, use later on. Welcome, read this first. Open this thing one-handed. Really need to get a camera stand, don't I? Okay, read this first. Where is English, or French at least? Something. Come on now. Welcome. Thank you for purchasing blah blah blah. Check for compatible hard drives. Use the insert the CD kind reminders. Blah 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 blah. This tells you absolutely nothing useful. Okay, and the French is the same. as one would expect. Anyway, welcome. I'm not going to bother to do that. Sorry, I am a linguist by training. I'm actually in school for French linguistics at this point, so I clearly have an interest in that. Anyway, put that aside right now. Now I theoretically have to plug this thing in and put the CD in a computer and see what happens. I don't think I have a plug open right now. I'm going to get my computer and clear out a plug where I can plug this thing in and go from there. I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, so got everything here. I have hooked up an Ethernet cord to my router. The Linksys E4200 is what I'm using. Got the plug running right now to a surge protector behind the chair, and I got my computer out here. The M11X actually does not have a CD drive, so I had to use this little external drive. You'll see this. I usually end up just downloading the programs for these things, but since I have never used a NAS before, like I said, we're going to see what happens when we just do it the old-fashioned way. Yes, thank you for giving me that little pop-up message. Come on. Very slow, very slow. CDs are old-fashioned. Okay, run auto menu. This is not the fastest computer in the world, but theoretically this doesn't matter because everything will run on the NAS. It runs a, I think it's basically a modified Linux kernel that it runs with the DSM, Disk Station Manager, I believe is what it stands for. Okay, start. It's going to be installed on your computer. Blah 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 blah. Okay. Yes, I'd like to do that. Select language English. Next, continue. Blah blah blah. I agree. Program files. That's fine. Finish. Now, I'm assuming I need to either start up the quick installation guide here for the DS410, or run the Synology Assistant that it just installed onto the computer. So your disk station, nice little PDF here. Okay, keep away from sunlight, all the usual crap, what it's supposed to include. Okay, that thing that I was not sure is a cable lock. This is an important thing I did read a lot online. It said it is recommended that you install hard disks the same size to make the best use of hard disk capacity. I did that. I got 4 identical drives. I think that's the best. Okay, installing hard disk, blah, 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 blah. Remove 4 screws, pull the back off. Okay, we'll get to that in a moment. Do I need to do all this before running the assistant, or... Well, no, according to that, you do all that shit first. Alright. Installing hard disks. Okay, so let's do this here. And it says, if you use a hard disk with data on it to install, system will format the hard disk and erase all data in some cases. Please back up data if you need it in the future. Given that I and Tim doing this with Virgin drives, it doesn't really make a difference, but if you were going to put other ones in there, I would highly recommend backup. I did actually think about removing the drives from my 4 externals there, and just using those, but when I read that different size drives caused problems with compatibility sometimes, I decided to nix that idea. So there's the 4 screws here, and we remove the back. Oh, that's fun looking. 4 hard drive bays. You can see the 2 fans. Looks like they're 22mm fans based on the serial number here I see on them. And you can see the RAM chip in there. Looks like it actually may be upgradable. That looks like you could get to that and pull it out and put a new one in, though I don't know, but anyway. Okay, so what does it say? It says remove the screws, pull the cover down, pull one tray out. Okay. So, pull one tray out. Done. This is what the tray looks like outside of the thing. If you're using 3.5-inch discs, which I am, place the hard disk into the tray. That means we need to open up one of these. close up there for a moment. And as promised, let's look at the model number here before we actually do this. It is a Hitachi, manufactured in February 2011, so it's fairly new. Capacity 3 terabytes. There's a serial number and all that on there. There's the model number. It is an HD S5C3030ALA630. That is the model number. Like I said, it's a 5400 RPM drive, 3 terabytes in storage capacity. Okay, so I need to place the hard disk into the tray. It looks like it goes like so, with the connectors obviously are going to be on this. You're obviously going to put the connectors on this back end so that it can, you know, you can see in the back of this box, you can see the SATA and the power connector back there, and that's what it's going to plug into. So you want to put this on the back of the tray. You can reach it, and then it says screw with the 4 screws for 3.5-inch drives provided. Okay, I actually don't have a screwdriver, so again, I'll be back in a moment.